members. That's a good place to keep that.
Bit out of date, probably.
Okay, Claire, it's a bit loud. The critics are active. Still a bit loud? Do you think it's a bit loud?
Are you doing collection too?
Hello, hello, hello. I think that's better.
Are you doing collection too? Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton, and this, I think, will be our last of the summer services. I think next week we start with the big in-gathering service, and church year just begins. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have opted to join us online. Please make sure that your devices have been muted. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, today you are one of us. And you are welcome in this house of worship. Our mission is to nurture one another and serve the community and inspire action to heal the world. My name is Barb Wallace, and my pronouns are she and her, and I am this morning's service leader. I want to thank the rest of the team, though, because there are many people that go together to put our service together. And the participants in this service are going to be Sue Stewart Green, Elizabeth Beckett, Jean Jacobs, Joanne Tunnicliffe, and Jessie Green. The music ministers for today are Rachel Derry, and we welcome Elizabeth Glenn Copeland. The tech team is Claire Derry and John Elliott. The ushers are Elizabeth Beckett and Doreen Knoll, and the worship assistants are Paula Berner and Ian Johnston. And we start with these opening words from, wait a minute, okay, I've lost the words here. No, we are. I'm trying to do this without printing it. I'm trying to use just my computer, so I'm hoping. I said if I lose it in the middle of it, I just wing it for the rest of the service. So. Anyway, these words are, Robin F. Gray writes them. It says, "We join our voices in holy communion of mind and heart, dedicated to the promises that bind us in compassion, one with another. In this hour, we light the flame that signals our intention to find the sacred in every place and living thing." Oh dear. Ian, I have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I could, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just bring that one up?
Yeah, okay. Okay, right.
Now you can join me with our chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love. I have a painting for the land acknowledgement, if we can put that up. There it is. This painting is called Early Hamilton, and it was painted in 1853 by a British painter, Robert Whale. In the painting, the view is from the top of the Jollycut, as far as I can see it, and looking down into the young city of Hamilton and on to Dundas. You will see how small the city is. You can just see the few buildings that are around there, not even to the edge of the escarpment, so you can see how much smaller it is than it is now. And there's also, not only are there, you can see in the middle a few very small people. You can see the perspective from that, and there's also the trees give you some kind of perspective as well. This painting, which is at the art gallery right now in Hamilton, gives us some idea of what our city looked like almost 200 years ago. Imagine what it looked like 100 years before that, before most of us who are settlers came when the various native tribes traveled this area. Think for a moment how we have changed and developed Hamilton. There is no way that we're able to go back to a time when this scene would show no more development, but we do need to recognize that this land has been greatly changed by us, and we need to think about how we can care for it. I'm going to do the story for all ages this morning, and I'm hoping I've got the script. Okay, somewhere here. This will maybe introduce you to what our concept of our service is going to be all about today. Can we get the first picture up, or do I do that? Is that the first one? Oh dear. There we are. Okay, this is the secret garden. The Secret Garden is an original story. The original story of The Secret Garden was written by Frances Hodgkin Burnett, and this version is adapted and illustrated by Gusto Masley. Mary Lennox lived in India, but when she was 10 years old, she was sent to live with her uncle in England. And after a very long journey by boat, car, and train, she finally arrived on a wet, cold platform in the middle of nowhere. Mary waited at the train station for a long, long time, and eventually a stern-looking woman called Mrs. Medlock arrived. Mrs. Medlock took Mary to a large, grand house. "Your uncle, Mr. Craven, is a very busy man," said Mrs. Medlock. "You must not disturb him." And with that, the stern woman showed Mary to her bedroom. Mary felt very lonely in the grand house, although she did enjoy spending time in the garden. She planted seeds and watched them blossom into flowers. Many weeks passed. Mary didn't see her uncle very often and spent most of her time with the maid, Martha. Martha told Mary all about the secret garden that was hidden in the grounds of the house. It belonged to Mr. Craven's wife before she died. I'm not sure we're exactly on sync here, but anyway, we'll keep going. So every day, Mary began searching for that secret garden, but with no luck. "I can't find it. Where could it be? Not out here." And one day, just as Mary was about to give up, she discovered an old door hidden by bushes and a curtain of ivy. She turned the doorknob, opened the door, and peeked inside. She discovered the secret garden. Mary knew that Martha's brother, Dickon, was very good at gardening, and she asked him to help her tidy the garden and make it beautiful again. One morning, Mary got up and got dressed, and she was excited to get back to her garden. But as she came out of her bedroom, she heard the sound of crying coming from somewhere along the corridor. "What's that sound?" Mary followed the sounds and came across a room that she had never seen before. She slowly and softly opened the door and found a boy sitting on the bed. "Who are you?" Mary discovered that the boy was her cousin, Colin. He had been told that he was too weak to go outside, so he spent his days in bed. He was not allowed to play with anyone or leave his room. "I've never had a real friend before." Mrs. Medlock looked after the boy as if it were her own son, and whenever Mrs. Medlock was busy, Mary would secretly visit Colin. It wasn't long before the cousins became good friends. One day, Mary had spent so long with Dickon in the secret garden that she'd almost forgotten to visit Colin. Colin was very upset when Mary finally got to his room. "Where have you been? You're always in that garden," said Colin angrily. "If you got out of bed for a change," replied Mary, "you could come and see it for yourself." Colin had an idea. "Maybe," he said, "I could come to the garden." Mary was overjoyed, and she thought that it was a wonderful idea. However, how will we sneak past Mrs. Medlock? Wondered Mary. "We won't," said Colin. "I know exactly what to do." So Colin managed to persuade Mrs. Medlock to help. She was very unsure at first, but she loved Colin so much that she eventually agreed. Colin sat in the wheelchair, and Mrs. Medlock and Mary pushed him outside. When Mary first entered the secret garden, his heart was filled with joy. Mary and Dickon had worked very hard to tidy the garden and fill it with beautiful flowers and plants. "It's magical," said Colin, and every day Mary took Colin to the garden, and Colin grew stronger and stronger. After a long time had passed, Colin was so strong that he found he no longer needed his wheelchair. I can walk," he said. But one day, Mr. Craven discovered that Colin wasn't in his bedroom. "Where's Colin, Mr. Colin?" Mr. Craven demanded. Mrs. Medlock had no choice but to tell him where he was, in the secret garden. There he is. Yes, Mr. Craven ran to the secret garden and was amazed when he saw Colin skipping and dancing with Mary and Dickon, and his heart was filled with happiness. Colin was startled and was just about to see his father and was just about to explain and apologize when Mr. Craven burst into tears. "My dear, dear boy, you look so well." Colin ran to his father's arms. "Mary, I am so sorry for everything," said Mr. Craven. "Thank you for bringing the garden and Colin back to me." Okay, there we are. There we are, back at the beginning. Thank you. Okay, so meanwhile, this has stopped. Okay. So last week we listened to the poem, we heard the reading of Spirit of Life, and this time we're going to sing it through, but twice today. Our opening words this morning invited you into a sacred space. But there are many sacred spaces. This is a sacred space, but there are spaces that are not traditional churches or other spaces of worship. There are sacred spaces that people have found that call to them. Some of our congregants today will share theirs with you. They might even make you think of places that are sacred to you. My new friend, GPT, I can't even pronounce her name, tells us this about sacred spaces. Yeah, whatever. Sacred spaces, sacred sites are locations that hold deep religious or spiritual significance to a group or groups. These sites can be natural features like mountains and rivers and forests, or they can be man-made structures such as temples and churches and mosques. Many sacred sites are associated with specific religion or belief systems and are often destinations for pilgrimage or prayer. So I thought I'd start with my sacred space. So if we can put mine up, I can tell you a little bit about it. There I am. Okay, this is a picture of my backyard and my hammock in the front and center. I try to come out here about once a day and lay down for just a few minutes. I love looking at the sky and the clouds and surrounding it with all the greenery below. It's usually really quiet there, except for the birds, and it's as close to nature as I get on a daily basis. It has become my sacred space. And now we'll hear from Sue Stewart Green in her sacred space.
Good morning. It was 11, maybe 12 years ago. I really needed a big change. Not a new life, but a break from the city. My 60th birthday was on the horizon. Time was ticking. I was agitating to connect again with the country. Moving from our downtown location was not an option. My husband John is very connected to Hamilton. He has a supportive network of lifelong friends. Impressive and enviable, but that's another talk. I had moved as a child and in my first marriage a lot and spent most of this time in rural settings before I came to the city in '85 as a single mom. In the years to come, John and I had a very busy downtown landlord business. I had retired from the fire department. We owned and renovated several multi-res properties all downtown, and we were managing about 40 apartments and 3 sons and a lot of church work too, I'm thinking. It was a very busy urban time. I wasn't sure what form this break or change was going to take. I thought about briefly spending some time out west at our sons, but I longed to have a rural property of our own. Not that we needed more work to do. So I hatched a plan. John is a great lifelong skier. I had only learned to ski when I met him. John was going back and forth regularly for day trips to Ellicottville, New York with some ski buddies. I had a knee injury, but one visit in January 2014, I said I was going to come along. John was very suspicious as he knew I had been talking about buying a country property. John had always said, let's just wait. Anyway, when they were all out skiing, I called an agent and looked at a few places and put an offer on one. A log cabin built in 1979 that needed a lot of work, but it was on 3 private acres, under 10 minutes to the ski hill, and 150 US, and the dollar was almost at par. It was for sure a bit of a rocky start, but John came on board and we tackled the renovations together. Being out in the country was like a breath of fresh air for me. I was strong and worked hard, helping with the ongoing renovations. John rolled his eyes as I did things like build natural fences all around the property, dragging dead trees up from the ravine, and moving heavy boulders for no particular reason. I get a lot of joy from the outdoor work. We cannot bring plants across the border, so I often go on long drives and dig up interesting things I see on the side of the road, and I work them into our landscape. However, I have just discovered that I have transplanted the invasive Japanese knotweed. There is a lot of wildlife. It's a joy to sit and watch and listen. We have a family of 5 baby groundhogs who flee into the ravine when they hear you. There are lots of chipmunks, rabbits, and a wide variety of birds. Deer come quietly and visit the bird feeders at night and knock them about. I get a great satisfaction looking at what we have accomplished. It's the first time that John and I have done work just for ourselves. Although I love and cherish my private time there, our renovations can accommodate larger groups. A large sunroom overlooks the ravine and mountain, 3 bathrooms and more bedrooms than I care to fill up. Our rural retreat is great all seasons. I love the winter and have become quite a good skier, never as good as John. I love the fresh, cold winter air and the views. However, I really love the summer. It can get steaming hot. I have a cool dunk pool, which is an old hot tub I have recommissioned. If you can move the slide. Another special treat is a very large clawfoot tub, if you go to the next one, a bathtub in my mint garden overlooking the ravine that I fill up with warm water by laying hoses on the grass. We use it every day in the summer. I go to the cabin as often as I can, often spending time by myself there alone. I always feel very safe and happy. Our U.S. friends have been very welcoming, particularly in recent times, and we have a great local network of support. Of course, we're troubled by recent politics, and we respect those who do not cross the border, but we are invested at this point. It's truly my happy place. I deeply breathe the wood fireplace smell every time I come in the door and make sure I have a return date on my calendar every time I leave. Call it spiritual, outdoor church, whatever. I know it's restorative and good for my soul. It's not a grand waterfront cottage, but it's a great match for us, and I feel grateful this dream has come true. Thank you.
So good morning. I'm Jean Jacobs. I think I've met all of you before. My garden is my personal sanctuary where I can connect to the natural world amidst the cacophony of the world as I know it today. It is so much more than soil, compost, fungi, and beautiful plants. It is a place that offers the opportunity of intersectionality between science, spirit, and beauty. It represents the interdependence of life in microcosm, where each component offers its specific gifts to the whole, making for an exquisite tapestry. The tapestry, however, is not without risks and benefits, beauty and grief. The May apple offers up its apples to raccoons, knowing that its roots will travel along and make new plants. Those plants that play well together outcompete those that don't and provide a distinct community for pollinators. The carnivorous praying mantis appears in the mid to late summer. The male sacrifices its life for the preservation of the species. Interesting that. The Cecropia moths appear for 2 weeks, searching for mates at dusk to avoid predators. We actually saw one when people were at my garden and got to talking about that particular moth, which has no mouth parts. It's only there in its beauty to mate. So it doesn't eat, doesn't do anything, it's just looking for sex. Preservation of the species. Giant swallowtails flit from coneflowers seeking sustenance to the root plant to lay eggs. Some are even missing parts of their wings, which have been clipped by birds looking for a meal. The vixen, a female fox, in case you don't know, uses the neighborhood shed to birth and raise her kits, trots across the lawn carrying a male cardinal in her mouth, back to her den for her kits for a snack. The deer, which traverse the garden regularly, which they have done for generations, maybe even before my house was built in 1954, snack on my plants at will. And I'm perfectly fine to leave them doing that. Mother teaches baby, and so on and so on and so on. So I'm not doing anything about that. I welcome them, actually. And so much more. It is a contemplative place where the exigencies of the world I can live in can be suspended, where I can feel grounded, have faith in the cosmic greater good. On a practical note, studies have shown that those who garden all their lives have a greater life expectancy. It's beneficial for the body and the spirit. Who needs the gym when the garden provides such opportunities for lifting, bending, pushing, pulling, as well as the fine motor skills required to handle and count seeds, pull weeds, and make notations in one's garden journal. Not to mention all that synaptic stimulation provided by learning and remembering botanical names, figuring out which plants go with others, how plant forms, heights, widths, color, and bloom time all fit together to make this tapestry. And there is always the search to identify new plants, which requires knowing and identifying plant parts, often only visible either with a loupe or your phone camera, which offers the magnification feature, and learning how to use iNaturalist. Talk about synaptic stimulation. So it's body, mind, and spirit. In conclusion, my garden is my happy place, my sanctuary, my classroom, my physiotherapy, and almost as important as anything else, is a place where friendships are formed and sustained. Who could ask for a more complete offering? My thanks to all the beings that I am privileged to share this space with. As Ben Vaught, an esteemed native plant person from Nebraska, would say, the creatures were here first, and we have invaded their territory, so plant enough to share lunch with them.
This is the time in our service where we collect our offering. We accept it each Sunday, and we will be listening to our music ministry. Elizabeth? It's an opportunity to recommit ourselves to this community and our relationship to one another. When we give, we say yes to something that we value. With gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. We will now receive our offering while we listen to Elizabeth.
Sacred space, within and without. The hymn I'm going to share with you is a sacred space inner song that I sing often in the quiet of my own meditation to ground me in myself. This hymn comes from the land of Ireland, a place where my great-grandmother came from, and Glenn and I are going to be blessed enough this year to be able to visit Ireland and put our feet on that ground for the first time. So this is Be Thou My Vision. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart, not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best thought by day or by night, in waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, and I thy true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my father, mother, and I thy true one. Thou in me art dwelling, and I with thee one. Be thou my battle shield, my sword for the fight. Oh, be thou my honor, and be thou my light. Heart of my own heart, whatever befalls, you will still be my vision, O ruler of all. Heart of my own heart, whatever befalls, you will still be my vision, O ruler of all.
Your gifts of support in this ministry to one another and the community are greatly appreciated. Thank you. We will now hear from Elizabeth Beckett about her sacred space.
a sacred space. It seems to have a connection to God. I actually can't read with these glasses. Sacred has the tone of relating to a religious purpose, and therefore a space deserving veneration, or perhaps a place that you go to venerate something. This connection of sacred spaces to a God may explain why so many people love being in nature, which is connected to the myth of creation and a feeling of closeness to the energy that brought us into existence. Yet I also think of Emily Carr's iconic painting of a white church standing alone, surrounded by green and black forests that look so menacing, suggesting, to me anyway, that nature is red in tooth and claw, and we tiny humans need shelter from its forces. I notice the tombstones and remember that man, thou art dust, and unto dust thou shalt return. In a religion, this is our religion, that does not embrace the doctrine of a God, or sadly an afterlife, it feels particularly compelling to find a bit of heaven on earth. Indeed, for many deeply theistic people, creating a sacred place is the reason for churches, cathedrals, temples, guardaras. Although a space for communal worship, these buildings also are places of private, quiet reflection, places apart from the life coursing outside the doors. There is a hymn in our hymnal called "From All the Fret and Fever of the Day." It's number 90, for those who want to look it up. And it encapsulates this idea of wanting to be apart. It says, "From all the fret and fever of the day, let there be moments when we turn away, deaf to all the confusing din, and intently listen to the voice within." When I sit in my back porch, there's a picture of my back porch, maybe. Oh yeah, there it is, look. That's my cat. When I sit in my back porch and actually listen to that voice within, so often it says, "Would it really be so wrong to have a second martini?" As I age, what I need shelter from is thoughts. Thoughts that plague my peace with to-do lists, recriminations, fantasies of what might have been or what might be. Yeats, in his poem Innisfree, describes his sacred space where he can escape the pavement's gray and live in a small cabin, plant some beans, harvest some honey, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. Many sacred spaces have that feature of being by oneself, where no one can make demands. Like Yeats, I find the idea of a bee-loud glade enchanting, but I would like to add accommodation for a maid-of-all-work to harvest the beans and the honey and make me supper. So it seems a sacred space is for many a place of safety, silence, and shelter. I recently moved to a bungalow. In my old house, where I had lived for 40 years, I would sit in my dining room alcove and watch my neighborhood from the big windows that were there. I felt connected to my neighbors and the activity of the street. In my new house, I sit in my porch and look out onto my backyard. My backyard is bordered by, at the end, by a row of tall old trees that create a sense of looking into a forest. Both sides of the backyard are enclosed by bushes and fences. My neighbors are there but not there. I feel like I'm living alone in a forest, but I also know that help is easily at hand. My back porch has become my sanctuary, my sacred space of shelter, safety, and silence, except for these incredibly noisy birds. These cardinals never shut up. Thank you.
Join me for the next hymn that we're going to sing, When Your Heart is in a Holy Place, 10:08, I think. Please stand.
I am standing without my cane, and I want you to know that's very special. I'm getting stronger. Hello, I'm Joanne Tunnicliffe, and I go by the pronouns she, her. And it's my privilege today to share with you one of my sacred places, especially as I'm getting to be an elder senior. Now, I didn't want to go in competition with Jean Jacobs, and I know you're all waiting. You're all waiting for me to talk about the gardens, aren't you? Yeah. But my sacred place is a little different. There's a place where I can go to write my stories down. It's in my room, my precious room. I write my stories down. Of course, I would say that the highlight of my room where I go is my 1776 rope bed. It spans 10 generations of families with all their love and memories. And on the bed you can see is a handprint quilt done for my 50th wedding anniversary by my loving family. So whether I retire to read, write notes, or sleep, I can be assured that I am surrounded by love from below and from above. Nestled into the corner of my large inherited mahogany hutch. The shelves above hold family mementos and friends' special gifts. And down below there are cupboards that hold all my writing materials and written stories, and beside it, many of the nature programs I have done in the past. It's a very special hutch. Now, it came to me from a retired school teachers, and they're all very good people, right? His name was Mr. McKee, and he persuaded me to go out in his old rowboat when I was a child and go fishing with him. Now, all we needed was old fishing rods and worms, but the best part of the fishing trip was listening to his stories. He would regale about his life and his adventures, and I took that all in as a child. But the best part of it was at the end. We always caught a big bass or a trout for supper. Put up the next one. Next picture. Secreted away beside our family cedar chest, my husband calls it my hopeless chest, is this maternal grandfather's prayer stool. Now you see it says good luck on it. I have no idea what the good luck has to do with divinity, because, you know, when you pray, I mean, you always hope your dreams will come true, but this grandfather took it everywhere with him. He was in the cavalry in the First World War, and then in the Second World War, he acted as a colonel of a regiment, and he took this little prayer stool with him, knelt down and prayed that the men would all come back to their families. As a child, I remember sneaking into his sacred space, his art room, and there he would be, kneeling on this good luck stool and praying that the good of mankind would prevail. Now my mind reeled with stories to tell as I entered this room. I opened the 4 leaves of my antique writing desk and assembled the following things. Good one-side only paper, because I live by my credo to recycle. Pencils and erasers and pens, and of course the proverbial mug of tea. But for enlightenment, I thought I should rest my eyes around the room to the walls. My family calls this place my shrine. There, the memories of life well spent spread out before me. Acknowledgements of life dedicated to education about the environment. Move from room to room, or wall to wall. I also spot a few things that acknowledge my dedication to wildlife habitats. And there in oils and photos stands my beautiful barn owl, my Bo-e-Boo, my family mascot that went everywhere with me to programs, and he enjoyed himself thoroughly, bringing about an awful lot of stories as well. Sorry. Now, above the head of that bed that you saw in the first picture is a row of medals. And it's different to every person when you have medals. These acknowledge the fact that long-distance races and triathlons were attempted in my 50s and 60s. Now, you would think they're all doable, but I'm going to tell you the hard work and the challenges and the many failures that ensued when you're trying to make your body come up to that level with the others that are running around you. So now my mind is totally overflowing. Stories everywhere, poems, things to write down, and I bend my head forward and I write furiously, over and over until the thoughts are lost. So one of my sacred places, it's in my room. in my room.
Our meditation is a time of contemplation, and I invite you to relax and breathe deeply. Following our reading, there will be a few moments of silence, followed by music. And during the music, you are welcome to come up and light a candle of joy or concern. We'll start our meditation with a poem called When I Feel Helpless by Jennifer Pratt Walker. If I can do nothing more, I go out the back door and sit on the steps where the tuxedo cat rubs my leg. And I look for the holy. If you call it life or God or mystery, it's okay. It's all in the thesaurus of sacred things. When trapped in the grimace of the chaos and pain, I know I can kneel in the grass at night amidst the sinuous dance of moths and night bat wings, especially when the moon is a full bowl of holiness. And maybe I smell the first rain after a drought bedding down in the cricket fields. And then I know, meet me there where we can do nothing much together but think and breathe holiness and pet the white-whiskered cat.
10 years later, and we were getting married at, you guessed it, at Unicamp. So it's clear that though my history with this sacred place has provided me with a set of rose-colored glasses, I assure you that it means just as much, if not more, to countless others. But enough about me. Well, not exactly. First, one more personal anecdote. When we were planning our wedding at Unicamp, I found myself feeling extremely anxious about having all of our non-Unicamper and non-Unitarian friends and family up there to a place that was so special to us. It seems obvious now, but I had a very hard time with it. And the reason is that Unicamp is a part of me, a part of us, and we are a part of it. And although at first I thought I was maybe self-conscious that some of the facilities might be a little run down and rough around the edges, I think that I was truly anxious about sharing such an intimate and important part of my life with people who maybe wouldn't understand that connection with such a tight-knit community. In the end, our friends and families appreciated the wonderful natural setting, the good vibes, and the community of a place that we called home away from home. What a relief. So, what makes a sacred place? Well, I think in the case of Unicamp, it is a combination of the aforementioned lovely community with its beautiful natural setting. To walk down its winding paths, sometimes without any real destination, just to listen to the breeze and the wildlife and to swim in the crystal clear pond is truly to be at peace. Something that is harder and harder to find in our modern world. I think the presence of this natural beauty is a part of why people are so eager to take care of this place and help in creating a space where everyone and anyone can feel that communion with nature. The landscape influences people when they come to camp, to take a little extra time to reflect and to simply be. The way that the paths are not created or laid down like a sidewalk, but worked into the ground through generations of folks walking on them. It has a feeling about it that it has truly been lived in. Step on any given spot at Unicamp, and there have been memories made there, and more to come for generations. The natural beauty, I think, helps people take a step back and recognize all they have to be thankful for, and urges people to give back their best selves into this community, welcoming newcomers and old friends with a hug or handshake or high five or smile, and allowing people the safe space to be their best and authentic versions of themselves, free from judgment, with truth and support, with true support from the community. A Unicamp dance on a hot summer Saturday night is a scene where it won't take long for even the shyest camp newcomer to realize that they can truly let their inhibitions go and move to the music and have fun in whatever way they feel is right, because taking one look around, they'll realize that's exactly what everyone else is doing. Unicamp is sacred to so many because it gives us a few extra tools to connect with ourselves, with nature, with one another, and with our community. Unicamp has been lived in with love, and you feel it the second you roll down that road. Thank you for letting me share this with you all, and if you haven't, you should go experience it yourself. See you at the pond.
I'm glad you got to see that beautiful picture of your wedding. I thought it was such a gorgeous one when we got to it, so that's good. I'd like you to read some closing words now from Israel Barfadi. My friends, when you go home from here, know that our hearts are always in a holy place, for we are always connected to one another. Know deep down our hearts beat in one universal rhythm. May we each find the sacred space and hear it. Before we listen to Elizabeth sing again, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. First of all, we found a set of keys. So if anybody is missing some keys, come and see me, or if you don't think about it later on, they'll be in the office. And the other thing is that next Sunday, there's going to be a meet and greet here in the sanctuary. So if you want to, after service, pick up a cup of coffee, come back in here, and you'll have an opportunity to share learning about our religion and sharing with each other. So if you feel so inclined, do come. And now we'll listen to Elizabeth. Thank you.
not actually going to listen to me, you're going to sing with me.
Oh, all right, even better.
So sacred space within and without, in the silence that is more than the absence of sound, when we joyfully sing in community together. So this very simple round was taught to me many, many years ago, many decades ago actually, by a 7-year-old girl named Melissa. Now, a place that I often find sacred space is when I have the honor and the privilege of being in the company of children and singing and telling stories and dancing and drumming and having fun. So this little girl, who was in my choir for a year, shared this song with me, and Melissa had been in and out of, by the time she was 7 different foster homes. Her and her little brother had been taken from a very abusive home. And yet this girl still had this shining light, despite the life that she had been given to live. So I often think of Melissa, and I ask everybody to send out a little prayer to her. She'd be probably about 40 right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to sing this in a round. I'm going to sing it to you. I'm going to sing it first so you can hear it, and then I'm going to get you to join in. I think there's some little spiritual percussionist that is wanting to go ta-ta, ba-ba. So, blessings. All right. So I'm going to sing it once, and then I'm going to get you to sing it with me, and then we'll break it down. Now, singing is one of the ways that humans have been in community with one another long before we were making tools. And we live in communities where we don't sing so much together anymore. I mean, I remember when I grew up, we all sang together and made music and told stories and dancing. So part of my mission in this world is to get more of us singing again. All right. So hello, little cutie pie. There. All right, I'll sing it once. It's easier to sing if you sit up straight. Take a nice deep breath. In fact, put your arms up in the air. And then let them float down and let your back stay nice and tall. Okay, I'll sing it once and then just join in as you hear it. It goes like this. Love, 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 love. People, this is your calling. Love your neighbor as yourself, for we are one. Sing it with me. Love, 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 love. People, this is your calling. Love your neighbor as yourself, for we are one. One more time, sing. Love, 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 love. People, this is your calling. Love your neighbor as yourself, for we are one. Sing it to me, sing. Love, 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 love. People, this is your calling. Love your neighbor as yourself, for we are one. Excellent. So, rounds are great ways to learn how to be in community, how to stay connected within yourself and get aware of who's around you and what's happening. So right now, I'm going to break the room into 2 parts. So let's say kind of from here, you guys are group 1, you guys are group 2. Now, I'm going to have group 1 sing it first, and group 2, you have a job. Your job is to beam them all the love and light that you can while they're singing. All right, so you're the beamers, you're the singers. 1 and 2 and 3, group 1, go. Love, 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 love. People, this is your calling. Love your neighbor as
That's it, folks.